That's good. I'm glad I helped break the ice and everything.
Yeah, that was good. Thanks.
But let's see here. Are we streaming? Oh, we're streaming. Cool. I'm surprised
Cool.
not many people are in the chat room yet, but here we go. Anyways, hey everyone, welcome to another Webflow workshop. I am your host, Nelson, and we have a special guest today, one of our community experts slash awesome Webflow community designers, Timothy Noah. Oh you. Oh you. But yeah, this topic for this week is life as a freelancer, and I'm really interested in how Timothy's career took off and all that stuff, and I want to know some tips, and maybe this will help you out too. But before we get started with the topic, cool. We have another chat room fan or whatever in here. But yeah, Tim. Tell us about yourself. Like, how did you get started in design? Your whole career path, getting into this, and of course, how did you learn about Webflow?
Sure. So I started off actually playing soccer or football.
Huh,
That was my major passion.
nice.
I wanted to be a professional footballer when I got older, and I had a number of injuries
Oh.
and decided it just wasn't for me. I also did art at the same time at
Mm-hmm.
school, and so I always wanted to do something digitally orientated. And so I started learning web design really early. So when I was in, I think it would be high school,
Mm-hmm.
um, and picked up a few skills, and then decided to study at university.
Mm-hmm.
And from university, because the course I was studying was quite expensive, so I had to fund myself through freelancing a lot of the
Ah.
time,
Okay.
and that was interesting. Learn a lot of new skills, um, a lot of different challenges
Hmm.
along the way, especially trying to manage university work alongside design work.
Hmm.
That was a bit tough, but my path then led me into different kind of freelance roles. Started off doing a lot of Flash, so
Oh,
motion
Flash.
yeah, Flash, the good old days. Doing a lot of Flash work, banners, microsites,
Hmm.
and then slowly, after Steve Jobs kind of laid the law down on Flash and Adobe, transitioned away from Flash, mainly onto HTML and interface design.
Ah, okay, so
And
that's
that's
how.
kind of how I found my way to Webflow, really, because I was doing in-browser designing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ever since the dawn of responsive web design, I've just loved the ability to be able to code, design in code, as I call it.
Yeah.
Um, and it was very tedious because, using Inspector and browsers, and thankfully Chrome was launched with DevTools.
Yeah.
That really helped. But then I started using or finding a lot of in-browser designing tools,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was Webflow. This was back in 2014
Yeah.
or 2013.
13
13.
is when it launched.
Um, yeah, and I started using it only briefly, really. I didn't really see the full capacity and the potential of it.
Hmm.
It was only when I had this contract to design a full web build, including UX, so wireframes and so
Hmm.
forth. And I thought, why don't I just do this whole thing in Webflow?
Yeah.
And that's how I started, and I haven't looked back since.
Nice, nice. So how long have you been a freelancer? It seems like a long time because you mentioned Flash and
Yeah,
you
that's a long
know.
time ago. So roughly around 10 years. Um,
Wow.
On and off, there have been a very few stints with kind of permalance roles.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, more on and off over the last 10 years. It could, if you include university, probably goes up to 12. But yeah, we could just say 10, just around
Okay.
nice round figure.
Wow. Wow, that's a long time. And so, like, I've been in the roles of, well, started probably like everyone else did as a freelancer because I was using it as a hobby at first, and then I realized as a teenager, wait, you can make money with these pretty graphics and stuff. Maybe I should get into this. And, but I couldn't really do the business side of it. I was always wanting to just, I like the wow factor of like, let me just build something. I'm not really a business person. And that's why I would gravitate more towards in-house full-time roles, because
Sure.
I would just get the work put on my desk and then I just
Yeah.
go to town.
Yeah.
So for you, how did you stay away from full-time? Like, because, in freelancer world,
Yeah.
there's no steady paycheck. It's you better find that next client. So
Yeah.
so why did you
Definitely.
go for that role instead?
I think because of my experience when I was at university and freelancing quite heavily, I kind of built up this kind of skill set that kind of allowed me to be able to manage um, the freelancer's life, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing I think is the flow of work. And so I quickly kind of identified agencies and companies that would help me find clients. And by doing that, it kind of takes the worry away from, where's the next paycheck coming, or
Mm-hmm.
where's the next project coming from. And then also just marketing yourself and getting yourself out there in front of as many people as possible. I was quite fortunate in the sense that a lot of my clients came from word of mouth as well.
Nice.
So you build up a nice rapport with one client, and they kind of tell their friends and so forth, and it's like a funnel. And it almost got to the stage where I had to actually kind of turn away a lot of work.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that's probably why. And I kind of enjoy working with different people, going to different offices, and it's not to say that I won't settle down one day and just be perm, but it's for the time being, it's a nice experience to work with different agencies, different people, and to learn as much as possible.
And I'm looking at some of the companies that you've listed on your site, timsby.com, and Nokia, Ford, EA Sports, and on and on and on, Coca-Cola, Adobe. So you actually went to their offices and worked with them, or did you have to go through a third party? Like, you actually worked with these companies?
So some of them I worked directly with. So for instance,
Wow.
Ford, worked directly with Ford, directly for only a short period of time, but directly with Nokia before they were bought by Microsoft. So that was interesting. But the majority of them have come through, because the way it usually works, a big agency wins a contract
Yeah.
for a brand to do a bit of advertising work or a web build or some branding. And through that agency, I'll be brought in to work with their in-house design team, or in some instances, to be their only designer,
Wow.
and just kind of push design work out that way. So it's a mixture of both. Some of them have been direct. For instance, Pringles, in 2010, this is before responsive web design. So if anyone sees that work on my website, it was before media queries.
Oh, wow.
But Pringles' work was an interesting piece, because that was before responsive web design, and that was semi going to client and semi going through an agency. It's a mixture of both.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the Pringles site right now. It's very on brand, very red.
Yeah.
Wow. But looks really good, and it's before responsive. So yeah, I can see the. It's funny how you see these wireframes and you're like, yeah, I know it's from the 90s, or I know it's from the early 2000s. But
Definitely.
it still looks great. And so you did all the graphics too for this Pringles site?
Yeah, so there was two other designers. I was the lead designer on the project, and that was really a testing moment, because when you're given such a big brand. I mean, I grew up eating Pringles.
Yeah.
So to say that you're going to design the website, for family and friends, it was like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it was like, I'm designing Pringles website. Do you not
Yeah.
understand?
Amazing.
So that was pretty. Yeah, that was cool. So there was about a team of 3 or 4. A big UX team, although I kind of got involved as well, because I don't like the idea of UX being 100% separate from UI. I think everyone should kind of collaborate, and I think it's a better product at the end when we do that.
Totally agree. So, as you're for 10 years, you have had to hit a creative wall or some sort of creative block when it's like, I don't know what to do. How do you keep yourself motivated? How do you get back up on the horse when it's like I can't do this?
I think that's a three-part. I have a three-part answer. I'll be very quick.
Okay.
But the first thing I think is to take your eyes away from the screen.
Mm.
And my wife will tell you that I don't do that enough. I need to learn that to do that a lot more. But it's funny when you concentrate on something entirely different, suddenly ideas start to flow again. Because sometimes you're locked into tunnel vision and you
Yeah.
can't really see the bigger picture. So moving away from the screen, and I like to sketch or draw or color in, just to take my mind off of a particular project that I'm finding difficult. The second thing is to have a bank, like a huge archive of resources, of inspiration that you've seen.
Hmm.
So I'm on Dribble, you know, silly hours of the day, and archiving and bookmarking things that I find inspirational, and that really helps
Hmm.
because then in those moments where you're not too sure what to do, um, there's nothing really new underneath the sun. So there are ideas that you can recycle or tweak, and then evolve into your own design. So
Oh yeah.
having a bank of resources, and the third thing really is uh, just to really ask for help. um,
Yeah.
get friends. Try and have people that you can kind of just ping ideas off of,
Mm.
um, and I find that really helps as well. Because sometimes well, all the time we don't have all the answers. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's good to bounce ideas off of people and it helps to stay humble in design.
Okay. Good tips. Good tips. Yeah. I've heard that before. Just walking outside and like taking your mind away from it, and
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why you're in traffic, or for me, like whenever I'm in traffic or I'm in the shower, an idea will just come out of nowhere, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, where'd that come from? That's amazing. I gotta get back to my
Definitely.
computer. So
Definitely.
yeah. So as far as clients go, how do you said that you always get referrals, but is that the only way you're getting clients now, or is there other ways that you kind of do to find new clients to keep that flow of cash coming?
Sure. So I get there's a number of, well, two main ways I get clients: word of mouth and through agencies, um, who are specialized in digital work, who have like a network of different clients or agencies, web agencies that they kind of affiliate with. And there are some quite big ones in London. I don't know whether I should name, don't advertise any.
Hmm.
I may get reprimanded, but there are some big ones who I use and I've had an ongoing relationship with for a number of years now. And so usually, if it's word of mouth,
Hmm.
the projects are generally you have to kind of do a little bit more consulting work
Yeah.
because you need to figure out exactly what the requirements are and so forth. If it comes through an agency, it's pretty much thought about beforehand, and you've got a clear brief and kind of just run with it.
Okay. And so I think every freelancer has gone through all the types of different types of clients, especially when they're just starting out. How do
Mm.
you deal with the clients that are too pushy or think, "Oh, website can be done in a matter of minutes. Come on,
Yeah,
it's really easy. Just do it."
yeah, and that actually, I ran into that problem recently when
Huh.
I did a prototype in Webflow,
Oh.
and because it was so quick, um, they kind of assumed that everything would be that quick.
Oh no.
Which can be a problem. You just have to learn how to manage, I guess, expectations. I think the key thing for me I've found over the years, and I would love for designers to learn from my mistakes, is
Yeah.
to always be communicative. So if that's a word,
Yeah.
always be in direct contact with your client to let them know what's happening, just to keep them updated.
Yeah.
And when that happens, the nerves, because usually those kind of remarks, those the queries you get from clients like this should take quicker, or I'm not too sure about this, design this in that way. A lot
Yeah.
of them sometimes stem from a client's kind of apprehension or nervousness about a project.
Oh.
So by kind of reassuring them and always being available, never going missing for for whatever reason, it helps to kind of stem the tide of those type of comments, and then just to try and educate as well as much as possible. Whether it's if you need to send them articles of why something needs to take a certain amount of time, and then just be honest and explain that. What I do is I'm just honest and try and explain. These things take time to think about, and at the end of the day, I want to produce the best work for you. So if that's the case, I need some time to think through ideas and creatively kind of come up with a solution to the problem.
Oh, education and just explaining to them exactly without just being real with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So we got some questions from the chat room. Let me scroll up and let me see here. Bartosz, our QA dev here at Webflow, is asking, what during your first month with let's see, Tim, with first month with Webflow look like for you? Okay, what did the first month with Webflow look like for you? I think.
Oh, I'll be totally honest because
Was it was a tough learning curve? I think that's the question.
Yeah, it was because well, yes and no. And I'll be totally honest because the end of what I'm going to say is really good. So if that makes sense. I think because when I first started using Webflow, it didn't have as much features as it does now. So the workflow at certain points in time, especially when you built up a whole load of different pages and you couldn't put them into folders, for instance.
Yeah.
That was a struggle because I had to name them like 001 and remember where they are, and you couldn't reorder the pages and so forth. So that was hard. I kind of knew HTML and CSS already. I mean, I'd been designing in the browser by hand.
Yeah.
But it was kind of those kind of things, and because I can be quite particular in how I work, and I kind of want things kind of tweaked to how I kind of think how workflow should work. It's always difficult sometimes when you're when that doesn't materialize.
Yeah.
But then gradually over using Webflow over a number of years now, I mean it's been amazing. The features have just kept on piling on, and although there are some things that I would love to have, I mean, I'm happy.
There's the team is trying to put the whole web design industry into your browser. Basically, is what I think about it. So it does take time, but I mean, as many features as they're always pumping out, it's like amazing. I'm just those developers, in-house devs, you guys. Magicians. I don't and I know what's coming in the future, and I'm like, what you're gonna do? How? Jeez. So yeah, I'm glad you stuck around, and another question from Zach: where is the best place to start looking for clients as a brand new freelancer with a smaller portfolio? Oh, great question, Zach.
Yeah, that's really good. Well, I can tell you what I did. Friends and family. I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but I got a lot of work from my friends and family. You'll be surprised how many people need a website, and it will kind of help you grow a portfolio. It may not be the biggest project at the start. You may have to supplement your income with another job just to in order to make so it makes sense. But definitely asking for things from friends and family, and also one thing that I've learned that usually works 9 times out of 10 is coming up with concepts. So have an idea, mock up a concept, and just pitch it to the person, and you'll be very surprised the feedback that you receive. So kind of two ways in which that I found at the beginning to find clients, and they kind of helped me along.
Nice. Also from Zach, do you use Webflow as only a prototyping tool, or do you build production sites in it as well?
So my kind of use case for Webflow is a little different. I have actually built production-ready websites for friends and family, and also for clients.
Oh, nice.
One big one that I wish I could name, but I can't name for non-disclosure agreement reasons.
Of course.
But you probably know who I'm talking about, Nelson. Actually, maybe you don't. We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, I don't, but you know what? If you want to share it on the forum, whatever, if you can, or whenever it's live, share it with the community, because
Exactly.
I'm looking at a lot of stuff on your portfolio, and man, it's really good, especially the Uniqlo stuff. That's amazing, and so
Yeah,
that's really cool
that
that
was fun to work on.
you can prototype and also make production sites in Webflow, and
Yeah.
you're using it and you trust us. So thank you so much. I see that Katie is on the Google Hangouts, and I had to mute you during the interview segment. But if you want to unmute yourself, Katie, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask her right now. And if anyone else wants to get on the air and on the Google Hangouts, I'll put the link in the chat room. And yeah, Tim is here, and also.
I just want to apologize for blowing my nose and giggling in the background.
It's okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
It's awesome listening. I think you have a lot of really great insight and things that we can all relate to as being designers. And you're on a level that I hope to get to someday. You know? So, cool. Thanks.
No,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Awesome. Yeah, for 10 years, and still going strong with so much recognition and all your all the past work you've done. Great job on it, and there's a lot to learn from your experience. And so, if you can, after the show, send me some links or some sort of resources that you could give to our viewers, and I'll post it on the forum, and maybe we'll put a blog post about it. Because this is really interesting
Certainly.
to see this happen, and yeah, dude. Oh, okay, here we go. We got another person from the chat room. Forgot Diego. Let's see here. Waiting for him to join. And while we're waiting for these questions, start throwing your Webflow work in progress projects. Let me put it in chat room too. Show us your links. Let's get the critiquing on. Where's Diego? He called in, and okay. Oh well. The first thing, as far as critiquing this Uniqlo. So what made you say, you know what, I want to just redesign Uniqlo or design Uniqlo in Webflow? What was going on there? Is it just a personal challenge, or what happened?
So, my wife used to work at Uniqlo during the Olympics in London, and I can remember going onto the website, and this is before, because I know that the American website was changed recently, and I think the UK version is going through a makeover as well. But it was a bit frustrating, because coming from a responsive, mindset in terms of your whole website should scale or expand accordingly to the browser or the device size. Uniqlo didn't do that. I think they had like a standalone mobile platform, and then they had a desktop platform.
It's the early 2000s way.
Yeah, it wasn't very user friendly. You'd roll over something and not be able to get back to where you roll over. So I kind of took it as a case study and thought, I wanted to push Webflow and see what I could really produce from a technical standpoint as well as design. To kind of show people that you can really use Webflow to create some really high fidelity prototypes and design work.
Nice. Yeah, you see a problem and you fix it.
Yeah.
And hopefully.
It actually got me a call back from Uniqlo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. After Webflow tweeted it, someone called me and was kind of asking me a whole heap of questions, and it was a good conversation.
Awesome. See, and for you freelancers out there, that's how you get your name out, right? You experiment and show the world, hey, I can solve this problem, and here's how. And maybe someone will give you a call. So always be working and experiment. Even if you're not getting paid for it, it's that future project that you will get, because you're showing that you're on a never-ending journey to learn and experiment and do stuff. Let's see here. George just quoted you. Without concept, an idea is just a thought. Is that a tweet or something that you said, or? Huh. A good line. If you said it, awesome. All right, so we're gonna head into the critiquing part of this workshop, and so Alexandra, can you see my screen? Or here, let me share my screen.
Cool. Yeah, that would be good.
Screen share. This one. There we go. Cool. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool. Do I press this? What button do I press? Okay. So, oh wow. So, Lincius Consulting. Pretty interesting. The arrows get lost in this background to me.
Yeah.
I know it's animating, but the black and white in it's not clickable either.
Yeah. That's why I would suggest making it clickable using an anchor link that will take you down to the content, and also maybe placing it at the bottom of the page rather than in the middle.
Probably a color that stands out more.
Yeah.
But nice and simple, nice and clean. I feel like the drop shadows right here and the text is kind of harsh.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And I agree. There's a tool by a guy called Snook. I can post it after this conversation for
Nice.
people to have a look at. But it's the kind of color contrast for accessibility.
Yeah.
So it's always good to check just to make sure, because you don't know who's viewing the website. Someone could be colorblind, or it's always good to try as much as possible to make colors accessible.
I love the negative space. It's really easy to read. It's one thing that I see that's the same thing happening over and over on each row is it's hard to read the text because of the background images are competing with it. So maybe darken the background photos a bit so more emphasis is on the text rather than the images.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, see, it's happening here too. But yeah, other than that, really good job. The spacing is really nice.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Great job, Alexandra. Just from Casper, just finished the site for my growth marketing agency. Still need to fill it with some better images. All right, let's see here. Bambo.co. And ooh. Choose one. Oh, okay, we have a video background. Okay.
Yeah, very nice.
All right. If I choose one, it shows a... Okay. Oh, it replayed the video. Not sure if that's... Not sure what's going on there. But converting my... Oh, okay, so all of them open up a call to action. So a call to action goes into a lead generation form.
Okay. I really like the icons.
Oh yeah.
Very clean, and I do like the color contrast.
I like these colors, and it might be biased because those are the colors Webflow uses. So nice. I like the hover effects.
Yeah.
It could be a little bit slower, I think. What do you think about the speed, though?
I think I went to a conference, and a very I forget her name now, but a interaction designer said that 0.2 milliseconds is usually a very good time for rollover links, but for more enhanced animation, you're probably looking at 0.5 to 0.6. I'm not too sure what that is, but it probably could do with a little bit more time.
Okay, yeah, looks good.
It kind of sets the tone as well. It makes it more sets the environment of the page when it's a bit slower.
I like this right here, the rollover for the text link. That's pretty. And it's happening to the arrow too. So I know how it happens. Okay. I was thinking, how do you do that? Oh wait, never mind. That make totally easy to do. But again, it's the easy animations that are subtle but still make the biggest impact, at least to me. It's like so subtle, and it's like, oh god, so good.
Definitely.
All right, great job, Casper. All right, let me get two more. Diego, prototyping Webflow for a new site. Sun X Webflow.com. So let me fix that link. .io. Sun excursions. Okay. Alright, so I feel like a lot of things are happening at the top. Because a lot of things are trying to catch my attention. Like, don't be a sap, get the app. And I'm like, okay. So maybe this one is gonna be a link, but it's competing with this one, and I feel like a lot of things were trying to get my attention all at the same time. But what are your thoughts on the first load of this?
I agree. I think the first thing that grabbed me was the imagery, and I was really kind of captivated by the dolphin. And then I do agree with you. The other elements do unfortunately compete quite heavily with your eyes as soon as you land on the page. So I'm not too sure in terms of the hierarchy. Maybe there's a tiny bit of tweaking that can be done to maybe bring in a bit more space and make it feel a little bit more.
This has a lot of space. Like this cards. These cards right here are really good.
Yeah.
You know, I'm guessing this yellow bar is gonna have some sort of ad or something there because it seems like a skyscraper area. But these logos could have a lot more gutters, a lot of space with the gutters here. But it's really good so far.
Yeah, it's a very good start.
I feel like this section right here could be. I'm not saying this could be the hero row, but it could be the inspiration for a cleaner hero row. How this is flat and everything. The logo's flat, and it just seems very clean. Whereas this one is everything is trying to get your attention. Like the logo, it doesn't have enough padding inside the box, and it's like kind of feels very tight. There's an airline here in America.
Southwest.
Yes, they redesigned their brand, and for an airline, you know, airlines want you to book a car, book a hotel, book a flight, everything. And look how clean this is. This is it's finished loading. That's it. And so they're basically, it seems like the same kind of thing where it's a 3 cards and they're trying to sell some vacations and whatnot. But it's super clean. So Diego, if you want to, you know, get some inspiration from Southwest or even Virgin America.
Yeah, Virgin UK actually as well is awesome.
This site is just intense because it's the first airline site that's also responsive. Have you booked a plane on your phone? Plane ticket?
Yeah, well, actually, no. I had an opportunity to, but did it on the internet instead.
Oh, okay. If you do it on your phone, it's super simple, and I was amazed because you still get to choose your seat too, and I'm like, what? So
it's pretty amazing.
So Diego, take some tips from those 2 sites and just keep searching. You're almost there. It's looking good after the hero row. It's looking really good and spaced out. So yeah, good job so far. All right, let me get one last one. Let's see who's getting it. Where are you? It's your here we go. You already got one, Casper, so I'm gonna give it to Zach. Here we go. All right. Okay. Like the icon. Alpenglo-design. I would like to see the name of the site I'm in. Like, this icon looks awesome, but I don't know. What do you think, Tim? Does the name of the agency need to be there or not?
I'm in 2 minds because I don't know whether it's because of some type of branding or some type of research that they've done around their brand. So sometimes maybe it can work, maybe. But I do agree. I think it's usually a good point of call to always include the actual name, especially if it's not recognized.
Yeah, like if you're Nike, you just need to put a swoosh because that brand has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
seeing this triangle, this logo, honestly, it means nothing to me because I don't know the brand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if I saw another well-known brand like the Gatorade G, then I'd be like, okay, I know it's Gatorade. So maybe somewhere in your hero row, mention the name of your business. But it's looking good right now, and
it looks like the font is Futura.
Is
So
it?
immediately for me, I mean that's one of my favorite fonts. So
the H1s.
yeah.
Let's see, what is he using? I'm using Inspector tool, and why can't I see it right now? Huh? I'm gonna have to look more. Oh, you're right, Futura.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at that. I prefer Comic Papyrus, but that's just
I
me.
know. You know. To each their own on that one.
Oh, so that's Zach. Hello, Zach. And there's his Twitter, Zach. Good job. Pricing.
I really do think this website is very clean and very presentable. I think it's pretty, I'm not too, because I haven't really studied the content. I can only go to what I've seen via this screencast, but I think it's from what I've just seen, I think it's really good. I think it just needs maybe introduction of a secondary color. So you've got the white, the grey, and the dark grey, and the lighter grey. But maybe a secondary color could. Oh, you've got the blue there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Got the blue for the callouts. And he's one of the few that is using 3D transforms. Have you been using 3D transforms?
Do you know, I haven't had a use case just yet, and I don't want to just use it for the sake of using it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to 100%. You'll see a new project coming from me that will definitely be using it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Zach, thank you, Zach, and everyone for showing us what you've been working on. Great job. Keep at it. And I like how he has the icon of e-commerce coming soon, because Webflow, we got to get on that.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
But yeah, thank you so much, Tim, for taking our questions and giving us a little insight into your freelance life. Congrats on all of your success. Leave us with some tips and links and resources and stuff when you can in the forums, and so you can share that with the community.
Definitely. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'll see everyone in the forums.
Yay, awesome. Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Awesome. So I learned a lot, and it takes a certain type of mindset to be a freelancer, because I've tried that before, and I've tried it multiple times, and didn't quite work out because I'm not much of a business person. I just want to do stuff, and I think a lot of designers are like that. And if you can handle the business and the design and the execution part, then you're good. And if you don't have both mindsets, that's when you find a partner or something. And so good luck to all you freelancers out there. As far as the next part of this workshop, let's get to it. Webflow questions, Webflow demos. What do you want? What do you need that's in your head right now that you need a quick demo on? And I'll be able to help you out. All right. And let me just give a little thing here on the forums. Someone just put Cohen put drop-down menus opening on hover. Yes, we didn't announce it officially, but just add in a drop-down menu to your page and go to the settings. Here, let me see if I can get to it right now. Let me go to this. And if you haven't tried it out, here's how. Alright, so I have a drop-down menu right here. Come on. There we go. So I have a drop-down component right here, okay? And if you don't know how to bring that in, simple. It's just another element in your tool, in your Add Elements panel. And then in the settings right here, we have Open Menu on Hover. So instead of having to click it, it's just a hover. Super simple. All right, and I also teased and tried to ask people, hey, there's another big feature that we didn't announce, but it's already launched, and so have you guys found it yet? If not, check this out. If I go to my Pages panel, my settings, oh, it's not on that one. Hold on. There we go. So if I'm a custom code, see this little purple thing right here? So like say I want to be like adding some nifty JavaScript up in here. Da-da-da. And I can be like alert. Just a simple alert tag. And then inside of there I can add a field. Alert. Name. Space. Date and time. Save. Publish. So if I go here, I should get an alert. And there we go. Dynamic data in your custom code. Amazing. Try that out. Have fun with it. Let's see here. Let's see here. Any questions about... Okay. I would like to know... Alexandra asks, I would like to know... How do you make the section go to the top of the window and not until the nav bar? I need an example of that. In the site I sent you, I would like the section to go to the top of the window and not only until the nav bar. Huh. What's the site you sent me? Short-term memory. Ugh. Can you link the site again? Alex? I'm looking for it. Yeah, send it again and then I'll try it. Let's see here. Michael, what's a smart way of making cards with images in them without using too many classes and without the image block? Oh yeah, good one. Cards. Okay, let me go to my playground. Good question, Michael. Good question. Let me delete this. Okay, so I'm gonna make a card real quick. Let's do this. Section. Inside the section, I'll have a container. Inside of my container, I'll have... Oh, you know what? No, not columns. Delete that. Let me add a dynamic list. Cool. Alright, and it's going to be projects. We're going to do fours, and so this is going to be cards. Okay, so we're going to make little cards. And if you don't know what a card design is, just Google that one, like card UX. It's basically what a lot of websites are doing now, just like, it's a card. hard to explain real quick, but here, I'm just going to try to show it to you really fast. So what I'm going to do is bring in a link block, and that's going to link to a project. And this link block is going to be called card. Okay, and this card is, let's see here, usually white, have some sort of margin around it. Okay, we'll do 15s. No, okay, 10. There we go. Cool. 10. And so usually what I like to do for cards is an image. Oh wait, you don't want to use an image block. Okay, so I'm guessing you want to use a background image. I would use an image block. But then again, why would you not want to use an image block? Is it because you want to use a background image? Okay, he's asking why not a background image. That the only way though. You can then use the CMS to get the background image. Yes. So if you're not familiar on how to get the background image for dynamic content, what you would do is right now I'm on the link block inside the dynamic item. And so I go to the settings panel, and right here, get background image, and I click on project thumbnail. And now, if I go here back to my styles panel, go to my background, I can add a background image. I know it's kind of confusing at that point, but you click it, and this is adding a background CSS, basically, to your dynamic background image, okay? And so I'm going to click cover, center that in the position, and don't repeat for the tiling, and there we go. And of course, I need to set my height to something, maybe like 300, and then my width 100%. Okay, and then, yeah, there you go. And that's how I make a card. Now, if you want to keep going, because we can't put a, right now we can't put a gradient on top of this, we're going to have to make the gradient an absolute position div on top of this background image. So what I'm going to do is going to set this link block to relative, and then I'm going to drag a link block inside of the card. Alright, I'm going to call this gradient and set this one to position absolute and make sure that it's with 100%, height 100%, and then set my background, flip it, and this one, let's just set it to black, 0%, and there we go. There we go. Okay, and this one shouldn't be 100, it should be something like this. Bring it down a bit, like that. There we go. Cool. And now I can put text on top of it too. So inside the gradient, maybe I want to put in some text. Let me get a text block. Get the text from the name. And there we go. And let me project name. Let me set this down to the very bottom. So position absolute and pin it to the bottom. Give it some padding. 15. Yeah, 15's good. And let's make that white. There we go. And there we go. I got a simple card. If you want to actually, not done. Let me make it more card-like by adding a rounded border of 3 pixels. And there we go. Let's go even further. Can't stop. Go even further. Let's just make them grow a bit when you hover over it. So I'm going to set a transition speed of, let's see, transform. And then on my hover state, I want it to scale a bit. Ooh, too much. Just a little. Ah! Yeah, just a little. Cool, like that. And so now, whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. So there we go. I've made cards. Yay! Okay, cool. That was fun. All right, next question. Michael, never worked with the CMS before, though I've been using Webflow for quite some time. Yes, Michael, I just used the CMS right there. So all that stuff I did, that's using data from my collections, and it was that easy. Really cool. Katie, can you show how to reorder item thumbnails? Ah, okay. So I saw this question on the forums, and I can quickly answer it right now. So my projects right here, they're ordered in a way that it's ordered the same way as here. So music player all the way down to material exploration. So I have music player, material exploration. And so I can reorder it by the date and time. Oops, hold on, sorry. If I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. So I'm going to click on Dynamic List Wrapper. And so the sort order right here, I can set it to a random order, okay, or created on, oldest to newest, newest to oldest, and whatnot. So there's many different ways you can sort it. If you want something more custom, a custom sorting, then you would have to order it on your own by adding a number field to your dynamic collection. So for example, I'm going to go to the settings panel of my projects, and I'm going to add a field, and I'm going to add a number field. Okay? And I'm just going to label this order. Okay? And save field. Save collection, and now all my dynamic items have a new field down here with the name order. And I'm going to set this to let's see here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 1 out of 9. I'm going to call this 7. I'm going to call this one 1. I'm just randomly putting it. This one could be 3. This one be 2, and so forth. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. I'm going to sort the order to name. Oops, sorry. Do we have my number here? Oh, not yet. Okay, let me see if I can refresh that. Okay. Where it is, sort order by. Okay, so I'll have to refresh this one. And so you're setting your own order, and you're sorting it in the dynamic lists settings. Okay, go here, sort order. Oh, darn, I'm on the wrong page. There we go. Dynamic list, sort order. Oh, there it goes. Order. Smallest to largest, largest to smallest. So, save. And I think it did it. I think it's because these don't have a number yet. What if I do smallest? Okay, there we go. Alright, so hopefully that helps you out. Try it out. Bartosz, show vertical alignment of text on the card. Ah, okay. Yes, I will, Bartosz. So here's a little trick. Usually it's easier with Flexbox, but we're moving towards that, as Vlad said in the forums. But for now, here's a little trick for vertical alignment. Let's see here. I'm going to position this full. Okay, and then... Wait a minute. Am I doing it right? I hope so. No, I'm not doing it right. Let me reset that. Like that. So position absolute, down 50%. My width should be 100%, and let me center the text. So we're almost centered with the position down 50% in absolute. And then we go down to transitions and transforms. Let me add a move to the Y and do a negative 50. So you have 50% pushing down, and then you have another piece of code pushing up 50%, and it gets that vertically centered. And there you go. Bartosz, what's up? What's up? Hello? Oh, you muted yourself. While you're unmuting or something.
Alright, so just one thing also here regarding the positioning, the vertical positioning. You can actually go with a position relative for both parent and child elements, and it's good to use it whenever it's possible, because in some cases, if the child container is not 100% width, you have to go with a not only top 50%, but also left 50%, and doing the same for the move transition.
Yes. So what he's saying is, if I didn't set this to 100%, right? And so now it's flush to the left. Let me remove the centering too. So how to fix this too is you can do 50% from the left, and then if I move it with the transform as well and do negative 50%, there we go. And I still need to center that in the text, so there you go. So there's two ways to do it. And yeah, thank you, Bartosz. Good tip. And for Melanie, she's asking, sorry, what is Flexbox? So Flexbox is an easier way to, it's a new CSS code that we're implementing into Webflow in the near future. It's an easier way to lay out your columns in text. And for example, these columns, if I go down to mobile, okay, hold on, let me go to tablet. So I go to tablet, right? And then I squish it down to mobile, I get it like this. But what if I want to have a different layout, and what if I want a different order of my projects or my cards at the time of when it's squishing down? Well, Flexbox will have that power, and it'll be easier to do vertical alignment, and it'll be easier to do horizontal alignment. So it's really, really cool. Thanks, Alex, in the chat room. You put a link, a guide to Flexbox. Really cool. All right, last 5 minutes, guys. Let me know what you want to see done. If you have any questions about Webflow, the future of it, anything I can ask, or anything I can ask, anything I can answer. You ask, I answer. Let's see here. The next week's workshop is gonna be fun. So we were talking to a freelancer today. Awesome freelancer, timsb.com. Thank you so much for being on the show. Next week we're going to have a boutique agency named The Calic Appeal with Virginia Upshaw and Jessica Cruz, and their story is quite interesting because they just started off as co-workers, and next thing you know, they one got laid off and the other one left that job. They were working as a creative director and graphic designer, so they're in the same department for this startup. And next thing you know, they got tired of the whole not agency life, the startup life and the whole corporate life and whatnot. And they said, you know what? Let's just make our own. And they did. And they've been doing it for over a year now. And yeah, I was able to see the growth of the company, and it's really, really inspiring, you know, like how to make that leap into doing your own thing and just saying, you know what, I'm done with the 9 to 5, I'm going to do my own thing. So, yeah. Let's see here. Brian asks, how do you put text on a map? Are you talking about a Google map? If so, it's quite easy. Let me throw in a section here. And in that section, I'm going to throw in a Google map for you. Right there. And then I'm going to click on Show All Settings. And then right here, you have a tooltip. This is where you put text. And it should... It should show up there. Why is it coming up white? Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a look at that one for you guys. Maybe it's my body copy settings. Do I have it all white? No, it's not black. Interesting. What if I set this to white? Will that do anything? I mean black. Okay, so there we go. So I probably have some sort of element that's telling that piece of text to be white, so I had to force it by giving this class name and setting it to black. So there we go. Put a text box. That is a text box slash tooltip. But if you want to overlay this map element with text, you can, just by getting, say, let's see, a text block right here, and then text on map. Give this section a position of relative. What's this section like? It's not relative. And so that way this guy can be like position absolute, super big, on top, and black. Just move them a bit. And there we go. So something like that. Okay. Hopefully you answered your question. And it says you're kind of new to Webflow. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for finding our workshop. I hope it's been educational and helps you understand Webflow a little bit more. Hope you join us every week and join us on the forums. And let me take a last question here. Do videos always appear in full screen on mobile? I think they just appear in a box, I think. Unless I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to research that one. I haven't tried that yet. If you want to learn Z-index, Brian, it's kind of like layering in image editing tools. But you can ask that question on the forums, and someone will link you to a resource, because that's some CSS type of stuff to learn. So if you can learn CSS before coming into Webflow, that'll help you learn Webflow even faster. Okay, but thank you guys so much for joining me this week. It's been awesome. Thank you again to Timothy Noah over at London. Really awesome to hear from him. Thank you everyone in the chat room. Let's see here. Let me name you guys, because I love you all so much. Brian, Casper, Blackfoot Navajo, of course Tim, Bartosz, Melanie, Alex, thanks for holding it down. Katie, thank you so much for joining us. Anna, Michael, thanks for coming back. Wonder where Bob went. Let's see here. Pete, and if I missed your name, I'm George. If I missed your name, I'm sorry. But you guys, thank you so much for joining us every week. And go to forum.webflow.com to keep the conversation going and join the community. It's full of love and fun people to hang out with and just geek out about Webflow and web design in general. So be geeks. Go over there. If you need any technical support, billing, account, any issues like that, send it over my way to the customer support team. We're here for you. Me, Dave, Will, and Bartosz will help you out. Just send an email to support@webflow.com. Of course, you can check us out at webflow.com. On Twitter, it's Webflow app. My personal Twitter is ThePixelGeek. Send me a tweet, follow me, whatever. All I talk about is geeky things anyways. So, talk to us. Let's have some fun. Make some cool stuff. Okay? See you next week, Tuesdays, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Webflow.com/workshops. See ya.